Is this thing on? I should probably grab some water. Nick, the notifications are there so I know when you chatted for the first time, so I can specifically say hello and welcome on in. It's more for me. But that being said, let's get this party started. Got lots to do today. Not much time. Yeah, it's a good thought, but even then, I forget who I've said hello to like 5 seconds later. So, again, it's more for me. But let's begin. Hello and welcome to another Hedgehog Make stream. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we're going to be putting some final touches onto the Doron Velta. I got some panels, courtesy of Armored Turtle. Thank you so much for that. More on that in a bit. Maybe install the skirts to make it look more like a completed printer. Tidy up the wiring. Actually mount the Pi down. Some random stuff. So, we'll talk about that in a bit. Also, I got a bunch of supplies from Maker World, and we're talking about that because there is some epic modding or custom design potential from them. So we talked about that a little bit before, I think on Z and Z, but I have some stuff in, so I'll show you all about that. But as always, this is a 3D printing and making hangout. Feel free to chat, ask any questions, but most importantly, just have a good time. And welcome on in. We have Stream Elements, Metal Plays Games, Tracy V, Nick, Petty. Okay, I'm gonna get your name right one of these days. It's Petty. Are you pints? I still don't know how to pronounce your name right. Charlie, welcome in. Madcat USA. We got a Pezliz in chat. Welcome in. Cloudhammer. Armored Turtle. RFS 3D. Tugboat 3D printing. Okay. Petty Ruxpin? Yeah, oh yeah, we had that conversation. I don't get the reference, so that's why I can't really pronounce it. I was born yesterday. Ruxpin. Okay. Petty Ruxpin. Thank you. So I can call you Petty. That works. Good. Ooh, what do we start with? I don't know. It was a popular toy in the 1990s. Oh, really? It's a toy? Okay, now I gotta look this up. Oh, Teddy Ruxpin. Okay. Oh dear. LCD eyes? Ooh. I mean, yeah, that's a thing. Before my time, unfortunately. Put metal cassettes in it? Really? Wow. That's interesting. Huh. Wow, that's quite the toy. So thank you for the little bit of lore. Welcome in K2 Kevin. 34 bottles of beer on the wall. I don't know what you're talking about. Stream stickers. I gotta. Liz, can you ban stream stickers for me? Can you actually ban stream stickers? I'm begging you. I want stream stickers gone. The knocking, just no, never again. Shrimp Father. Hello, Stephen Poole. Hello. That's funny. All right. What do you want to start with? I got some epic panels for this. I have another really cool thing in here. Actually, let's start with this. So, this right here, and correct me if I'm wrong, which I will be. This is a box. Okay? It's a box. It's actually a really well-printed box. I don't know what it was printed on, but man, that's pretty good. There's no bottom of it. It's kind of a interesting, like, grill right here kind of thing. The actual case itself, this thing has some, like, no top and bottom infill. Pretty interesting. I dig it. But inside of the box, there are things with stuff on them. Do you recognize that logo? Go close to the gate. Do you recognize it? You don't recognize it? Well, it's a turtle. It's an armored turtle. Get it? You see the little feet and the head? It's an armored turtle. Yeah, that's where that comes from. 8-track boards? Absolutely. So, without making them explode, how do I do this? There's no way of removing them without them exploding. By exploding, I mean, there, they all fell out. But that's okay. Never before seen in your life. These boxes are cool. Look at that. So, are you selling these? Like, what's the story of these? You just sent me these without really any context. What are these? Because these are amazing. So, if you're unaware, these are 8-track custom, well, very basic, but custom PCBs for the cassettes for the 8-track system. Very limited first batch. Gotcha. So one of these gets mounted permanently on your printer, and then you wire up the servo, end stops, whatever all the connections are. And then this one, or one of them, gets mounted on your cassette. And then you pretty much slide the thing together, and bam! Just like that. Now, from what I remember, you didn't have these at Rocky Mountain, did you? Like on your system? I thought you just had the kind of like a pogo sticking through, unless that was what that was. Maybe you did. But yeah, this is epic. It's so simple, but it looks like it's gonna work great. So I'm pretty excited for it. Unfortunately, I have not done my full research, and I haven't started to print the parts for it. Do I even have the link for your repo? It was on a PCB, but they were green and... Okay, alright. Yeah, I didn't remember like the full-fledged PCBs. Let's see. I can get it. Swish, swish. Here we go. So here is the project, if you're interested. So 8-track Raven Alpha. 8-track Raven. So is that the name that you're going with? I've only heard 8-track. I haven't really heard Raven. So it's a modular automated filament changer that is scalable and compatible with any Clipper 3D printer. Documentation. Cassette. Raven. What is Raven? Is Raven the whole thing? What is Raven? I'm so confused. Raven is the 4-cassette standalone. Oh. Marbles. Do you have a picture of that? Is there a picture somewhere of that? It's far from finished. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, that's fair. Is there like a CAD of like a render? Just kind of getting an idea of this, because I really like this project for a couple of reasons. Last week, cassette shell, Raven assembled 3 hours ago. Okay, yeah, if you can just send me like a render or something if you have one, that would be awesome. But if you want to join the GitHub, there is one here where you can get more info than I have, because I'm not a pro streamer. The main reason why the power is out, no! That's hilarious. That's not funny, but it is. The main reason why I haven't really dove into this is because I don't have a ton of time to beta test stuff anymore. And I know the second that I start this, I'm gonna want to just make the whole thing and then just finish it. So with how am I gonna do this? Let's see. I should have inserted one of these first. With whoops, I'm not sharing my front. With Maker Faire Long Island and Murph coming up, I really didn't want to start this because I just want to finish it. And I plan on kind of diving into it after Murph. But if I can start printing stuff out and, you know, beta testing, etc., just like parts, I can certainly do that. But in terms of configuration and setting up on a printer, that I want to have really well done. And I'm adding this to the list of projects that I'm kind of waiting for the new studio to really dive into, if that makes any sense. So this is a project that's, you know, it's in a queue. And unfortunately, I have so many things that I want to do, and I'd love to just knock them all out, but yeah, I'm trying to set priorities. So, very, very excited for this. Thank you for sending these over. My plan is to... Oh, you got a picture. My plan is to... I want to be the... I don't know what we're going to call this, but something like the lazy feeder mod. I want a single version of this. Like, super basic. Maybe not even an enclosure. I'm talking put an extruder and a servo with the rollers just on the side of a printer. So you can insert this to the printer and it loads it automatically. Like, not using any MMU capabilities or nothing, just a single spool. I want to be able to throw my spool on any of my Voron printers and just have it loaded automatically. I think that would significantly, help with the workflow of changing filament. It just would be. There's a reason, again, why I use my Bamboo so much. I put filament into the AMS, it grabs it and loads it automatically. If that feature was on Clipper, that would be just great. With the right code, you could do with 8-track. Right. Well, yes, that's the point. Like a single cassette or a single, module. I don't know if it would be a full cassette, but essentially one channel of the 8. That would be really, really good. But honestly, even let me check this over here. Okay. Oops. That's way too big. I love it when Discord has an image and it's like really big. Let's see. So yeah, this is great. You could do 1 to 128 of them. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is cool. So you essentially have one of these cassettes and then you slide it in. You take it out, put your filament in. But if I can get away with not having it in an enclosure, maybe it needs to be an enclosure because of the backfeeding, but if it's just a single spool, it doesn't really matter if it's rewinding it. Maybe not even have the rewinding function built in. Just literally an extruder and servo and dock. I think that'd be very reasonable, and I would totally add that to at least my most popular printers. Well, popular, most used, my favorite printers. So yeah, that's the idea. That's the big idea. I mean, hell, if you could put Nomi down here or like some small screens with statuses, like there's back when the Bamboo ecosystem came out, that was like 2 years ago or so. Yeah, probably about 2 years ago. Or released. My vision was full automation. And it's all possible. It just takes, the thing that I can't do is software. I'm not a developer. I can make some, CAD parts. I can stretch things, make some custom stuff. Like I can do some basic CAD, but I can't make an entire thing that takes software. That's the main issue, is that I have all these crazy ideas, but I kind of have to rely on the community to do them. And this is the first project that's been the closest to what I want. My full vision would be incorporating this with I don't have it in front of me, but one of the Roadrunner style sensors. So a super precise filament sensor that can not only detect clogs, but detect under extrusion, detect actual feeding of the filament. That's what's really needed and missing from a lot of all printers, really. I haven't seen a single one that has a high resolution filament sensor. That combined with even throwing in a TD1 of sorts, right? Being able to just load filament and then it tells you what filament it is. Maybe you can add the filament to your library and tell it, hey, it's this color right here. Then you load filament, and then it already automatically knows what color it is, etc. Kind of like what bamboo does. Sent another picture. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Open a browser. That is perfect. Wow, this is literally, this looks like an AMS. That's pretty good. All right, so there's this right here. I still don't fully understand this mechanism, but the process of feeding filament backwards, reversing filament, also drives these right here. And, oh yeah, this right here. Okay, I see. So this bearing presses against this, looks like a little TPU, like O-ring. That's what I'm guessing it is, or maybe an actual O-ring for stickiness. And as the filament feeds, it spins the spool. I am not 100% sure how that works with the difference. So when you have a full spool, it rotates different than if you have an almost empty spool. So I'm wondering how that kind of works, but the general idea is that you feed filament back, and the process of feeding back the filament also rotates the spool with this little mechanism. I'm wondering if feeding it forward is able to disable or disengage the mechanism. Like, you don't want to feed the spool. Maybe you do. Maybe it's slippery enough that it doesn't really matter. Filament movement situations being worked on. Yeah. So this is kind of cool. Honestly, I didn't even realize that this was a thing to begin with. Like, I didn't even know or realize that this was the idea, like rewinding filament. But it makes a ton of sense because it's used as a, pretty much as an AMS. Passive forward, driven in reverse. Yeah, that's perfect. See? Perfect. And then here's the underside, so it feeds in filament, or the backside really, and it goes into a combiner. Looks like, are these just end stops right here for filament detection? So when you're feeding back filament, it feeds it until it's no longer triggered, and then loads the next one. It's genius. Similar project that has been folded into the ERCF ecosystem. Feel free to link it. I'd love to see some more examples of this, because at the end of the day, I don't know if you're trying to make money off the boards, which you definitely should. Like, try to make as much money as you can off of this. But all of these projects being open source, the more there is, just the better. We're trying to add as many things together as possible. And if someone can create the solution that I mentioned, sign me up. Seriously. Use for all pancake steppers? That's funny, yeah. Yeah, steppers. So, I can communicate to, we could talk about this off stream, but if you have a BOM, momentous. Oh, what is this? Isn't that the tool head? Oh, that thing. Yeah, I've seen that. Someone was complaining on Twitter about it because they think it's not going to work well. But yeah, that makes perfect sense. Again, I'm trying to close my eyes because these are so cool, and the second I build one, I'm gonna go all in. But yeah, this is the solution. Putting filament, actually this is perfect. Yeah, putting filament on your printer and then just being able to extrude it. That's amazing. So this is passive. I'm guessing that this doesn't have any motors or anything. Yeah, this is purely passive. So this still wouldn't really suit my needs. This is more for a buffer. If this works as a buffer, that will be incredible. I'm currently building, well, not building, but I'm planning on building an MMU3 for the Mark IV, and I'm gonna need some solution for it. So maybe, I don't know, gotta have something. And I want it to have all 5 spools. So either everything's in 4, because 4 is apparently the best, or 8 or 6, or nothing's 5, because 5 is such an odd number. So once again, thank you. I will certainly, I'll start printing some stuff out. If there's anything you want me to test, like, hey, test this thing, test fitment, just let me know, and I can certainly give it a print. But happy to help kind of start the process of this and go from there. And speaking of starting, I am starting to collect some parts. So these are from Maker World. Let me pull that up here. One of these pages. Right. Not Maker World. Bamboo Lab. Shipfather, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much. Oh, interesting. So the alerts, I'll put the alerts at the bottom, but the text for the alerts is really small because I made it tiny. Oh man, I'll fix it later. So, I've said this a couple times, and I like my bamboos. I really like the printers. I like how they work. The hardware is great. One thing that they've done well is design good hardware. So it'll stop popping up. Yeah, I get that. But thank you. If anyone here has Amazon Prime and you forgot that you can actually subscribe for free, make sure to do it. If you're already subscribed here, do it on a different channel. Sub to Pezlas, sub to K2 Kevin. That'd be fun. Just pick someone to use your free Prime. Don't just let it sit because it's free money. So, Bamboo has just really good hardware design. Whatever they're doing in the hardware department, they're sourcing, it's really good. And I've showed this off a couple times, but Bamboo has the maker kits, right? We have the wireless phone charger. I can show that in a minute, but I built one of those. They have the mouse kit with all the electronics. What they're good at is sourcing components to be used for this stuff. But what I didn't realize is their electronics. This is absolutely wild. Oh, and now everything's on sale? Or what? Why is everything on sale? Weird. Number one, I didn't realize how small these motors were. These are tiny. They're like this big. It's in this box right here. They're just like tiny. I almost wish they were bigger, but I think there's still potential for these. I certainly do, and I'll have to play around with them, but yeah, they're small. What can I show you for scale? Here's a standard snip, right? Like, they're small. So, practicality-wise, I think there is still some use for these. You just have to get the right one for the job. Model train stuff. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking of. This would be perfect for model train things. So I got the majority of the motors here, just like one of each to, if I have a design that I want to make, or if someone makes the design and uploads it, like if someone makes a cool, imagine like for Christmas time, there's a train that goes around a track. So you have like the little battery module, or maybe a custom battery for it, and whatever. Ooh, maybe like a power bank. Oh, that's a good idea, power bank, etc. Right? You can just throw one of these in, and you're pretty much good to go. Pete, a Shirtle, has been using these. These are pre-wired USB little hobby motors. And I think he's using them for some new light box designs. Motorized light boxes, who would have known? Welcome in, Frostbite, Mark H, and Pete. Pete, there you go, speaking of Pete, Pete Savas, welcome in. Put some batteries in the tool car. Yeah, I don't know what would be better, like a USB bank that you plug in the USB, or using their battery case, because the battery case is big. It's kind of huge, and it's a weird form factor, right? It's like square. So maybe you can just get the wire and make your own battery pack. I'm not sure. It would be nice to have actually a USB recharge, so like a train that's, you know, like this, that has the batteries in it, and you can just plug into this, and that's your thing. In fact, the whole train system built off of this would be fun. It'd be a lot of fun. If only he had something that can make it in 3D. Yeah. So I'll play around with these motors and see how practical they are, but there's a really big reason why I like these. Not because of the performance, but the fact that, I don't know where they're selling these, but everyone can just get these. You know, how many times have you done a project and they're like, get this random part? You know, let's say for the 8-track, right? You need extruders, and you say, just get this random extruder set. But there's a billion options, and every single one is slightly different, and some of them might not be compatible, or some might just be a very bad quality. So what Bambu's done is created a standard for parts. And I think that's great. So you can design around their standard. Yes, you do buy them from their store. No, it's not a ton of money. And I'm sure you can find something. Ooh, I don't know if you can find these. They all use the same connector. Like there's a whole ecosystem that I'm gonna show you. And I didn't realize that it's a whole like wiring ecosystem. So whining about Bambu prices. There is nothing that Bambu sells that is overpriced. Is that a hot take? I don't know. Their filament, even being a little bit more expensive, it has NFC tags in them that are pre-set up. You load the filament in and it works. It just works. And that just works is something that a lot of people would love to pay for. Hey, Nomi, how's it going? Welcome in. Hopefully all is well. These lights are kind of expensive. Like, come on, 21 bucks for a little RGB strip. Yeah, that's a bit expensive. Yeah, the printers are very reasonably priced. Absolutely, like they're too reasonable. Where I don't even want to build a printer anymore. I just want to buy a Bambu because you unbox it and you're printing. But that's no fun, right? Dropkick, thank you for the 22 months. That's a long time. Thank you. So, what else do they have? So motors is the number one thing that I can see for now. Maybe they'll add some stuff in the future, but there are a couple of different options. So let's go right to this. So number one, this is what they're calling the power distribution board with 4 channels. This is cool. I bought this thinking, oh yeah, I'll try it out. It's $5, right? Reasonably cheap, and I'll use it for something. There's 2 sides on this. There's the top and bottom. This right here, this is your input. So this is where you feed power in. I think it uses a PH2 connector. It's like a more standardized connector, you know, supports more current. And then the other side's an out, so you can daisy chain these. Again, you know, be aware of the current draw, but you can daisy chain these boards. And on the bottom here, there are 4 accessory ports. So for LEDs or motors, currently. And then these are switches, switch ports. That's right. So they include little jumpers right here that you can put in so that the, you know, when this receives power, it's always on. And then the fifth slot right here turns the whole board on or off. It enables power from this port to the whole thing. So you can, again, leave it in with a little jumper or get rid of it. And they even include a USB cable, a custom USB cable for feeding power. That's kind of crazy. So all of this is $5 for a custom PCB with all of this stuff right here. How's the Door and Velta going? Good. I'll show you that in a few minutes here, but I wanted to bring this up first. You can get them very cheap with no wires. Yeah, like by the time you source the stuff by itself and then solder on connectors, like you just buy them from Bamboo, and that's what I think is reasonable. For like one project, it's very reasonable just to get it from Bamboo. So they have that. They have some more jumper cables, like $1. What? They're actually correctly priced for what they are. I've given you could just make these, but these are SH1 connectors. Good luck crimping that. They have a fan too, little mini fan. Then they have these two things right here. So one of them is a button switch. So it's a self-locking button, means that you depress it, turn it on, and you depress it again, turn it off. So it's like a either on-off switch, to toggle switch almost. It's a switch on a PCB with that same connector, and that is used to feed into the power distribution board. So that's used down here, and pressing the button will turn on or off that specific, what are they calling these channels? One of these channels, which again can be used for a fan, a low powered fan, motor, LEDs. So that's number one. But look at this. They also have potentiometer, speed control. So again, it works with that power distribution board, and you can control the speed of your motors, the brightness of your LEDs, or like the speed of your fans. That's really cool. It's very simple too. I love it. It's just like a little potentiometer on a PCB. But these are all their custom PCBs that they've made in bulk. They went all in on this without really having I wouldn't say a plan, but they're letting the community decide what they're doing with this. There's these things here, just little LEDs with those connectors on them, so you can just add them to a project. Think about like Lego projects even. They have a whole backlight board. That's kind of cool. I don't know what this speed controller is for yet. I got one, but I don't know what it's for. Oh, that's for the bigger motor. Okay, the TT motor. Gotcha. So that's for that yellow motor. So it's display and thumb wheel. And there's a timer, maybe? Soft start function, voltage regulation, automatic shutdown. Okay. So this is so you can set on like a timer. And I think that's used just for this one motor right here. I don't know how the servo works yet. It looks like a standard servo. So I don't know what the idea behind the servo is. So this would be more for hooking it up to like an Arduino board or something like that. So this is kind of not quite in the same system, nor is this motor here. But all this other stuff can be combined with a battery. So you can power it from a battery case. I have one of those. You can power it from a 9-volt battery, or oh no, oh my God, look at this. They're literally selling the contact plate. So you can 3D print your own battery holder. Huh. Do they have other ones of that? I only saw that one. So that's for AAA? Interesting. With AAA. I wonder if they're going to have a AA of this too. But that's really cool. So you don't even have to buy the... Like I said earlier, I don't like the form factor of this box. And I don't know how easy it would be to modify it or take out the connectors. But yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. So a little brief overview, just showing you guys what the parts look like a little bit in person. I've already played around with them a little bit. I hooked a motor up to USB. Hey Mayhem, welcome in. And it works. So here's the little power distribution board. You have your input, your little, you have a jumper right here if you want to use that. And then these, you can connect the switches or potentiometers. You can use, connect to your motors and then daisy chain it. So that's cool. It's cool. Hey, Torbs, welcome in. Use copper tape to make battery contacts. That works okay-ish. Yeah, that works fine. But I'd like to see a real solution. Not a real solution, but like a better solution. Like a proper solution. There, that's the right word. Unfortunately, my battery case came in cracked. And I'll probably just glue it, to be honest. Or I can tear it apart and see how easy it would be to steal the contacts. Looks like they kind of just slide out. And then make my own case. Maybe. I like to have it like sideways, like, or maybe even to steal the, oh, you know what? This is the PH2 connector. I can just make one of these. Or not make one, but take another battery holder and then just re-terminate it with PH2. It's not a standard connector, but it's definitely, I've definitely used this before, and I think I have a kit for PH2. So that's a possibility. And, I would complain about a little broken thing, but it's not really worth it. I'll send them an email saying it came broken, but I'll tell them that I'll just fix it myself. Because, again, these are just little battery cases. So yeah, pretty cool. What do you guys think of that? Honestly. This form factor, black tape, right? This form factor would be perfect to add a little motor in. I'm not sure how many motors would be, needed to truly drive it. I'm not sure which motor, because these are very small. I don't even know if they'd have enough power. So honestly, that little hobby motor would probably be better for that. The little like USB motor. But regardless, I think there's potential. And I'm super excited for other people to design stuff. I'll design some of my own things eventually, but you know me. Welcome in Technoside as well. Let's get on to the main subject today, and that is the door and Velta. It's printing. And it's printing pretty good. Not gonna lie. The biggest issue that I'm having right now is pressure advance. Not really an issue, but in order to print fast, you have to have very, very aggressive pressure advance settings. So I can change that by printing slower, or I don't know, shortening the Bowden tube length. I think that they're eventually gonna mount the extruder on the top here, which would be a much more reasonable length. But yeah, I found some Maker World. I don't know about, so there is some low polyness going on here. You can kind of see that. That's the model. That's just modeled. It looks like a Tinkercad model, to be honest. But I'm guessing that's where that comes from. Because you can see I don't know if you can see it, but this section right here is really clean. The top section is really clean. So I don't know what that is, if that's the model or the printer. But regardless, hey, I printed this on the Delta that I just built. That's a lot better than some of the other stuff I've seen, honestly. So very, very happy with printing, actually printing. I made another one, but I ran out of filament. I tried to swap filament, but I couldn't really remove the filament. It was weird. And then I accidentally touched one of the arms and it, lost track. So, but that was printing super clean as well. So, yeah, it's printing. I did a polypearl tower. Go to overhead. It's easier to see. And it's pretty clean. Very clean on the overhangs. A little bit of wisping. That's definitely a thing. It is a very, 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 very long Bowden. Very long. But overhangs, pretty good. I'm surprised, those little fans. I slowed down the overhangs a bit, but yeah. That's a very good result. That's better than some of the Ender 3s I've printed on out of the box. So, that's the main stuff that I printed. I started trying to do some pressure advanced tuning, and it is just nasty. I don't know, it's gross. It's bad. So, right now I'm at 0.6, and I think that's probably too high, but on all the settings, you can see some artifacts. Every single setting, there's an artifact. So I don't know how to get rid of that. And yeah, look at that bottom section. That's crazy, huh? Oh, man. I can try printing slower, but gotta go fast. Hey, Lash, welcome in. Yeah, if anyone has some advice, I'm gonna go check out the Okay, I'm guilty. I keep forgetting that there's a Voron channel for this thing. I've just been messaging Armored Turtle. Like, you're the expert, right? You built one of these. You have a serial number. You must be an expert. So I apologize. What speed? I think this is pretty much... Actually, I can show you for this one. I was using the stock profile in Orca Slicer, but I can show you the settings for this guy right here. I think I transferred over my standard-ish settings. Yeah, so my standard wall widths, standard slicing mode, but for speeds, I did slow it down. 100 outer, 150 inner, 200 sparse. Just to kind of help with the pressure advance, because it's such a... Yeah, you can see the banding right here. You can see that as part of the model. And just this, not the top. Very strange. Yeah, you can see that it's weird. I hate it when there's a low poly model. You don't realize it's low poly. Hey, printed it pretty good though. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to... The slower your outer wall, the easier it is to do pressure advance tuning. So I might even have to slow this down further. But I also did a VFA test, and 100 is about right for this printer for outer wall speeds. And then overhang speeds, I did 60, 30, 20, 10. I slowed it down, typically do 80, but I went to 60 just to make sure that it would print well. And 60 and 100 are pretty close, so it worked out fine. And then I kept the default accelerations, but I think it's limited to 300 millimeters a second at 3K travel in the firmware. I'm still messing around with that. But that is it right now. I'll show you the bed mesh, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be expecting, but I was not expecting this. I don't even know what's going on here. I tried a bigger bed or a smaller bed mesh, a bigger bed mesh. I tried moving it around, increasing everything, but is this what a delta bed mesh is supposed to look like? The fact that these sides are flat, completely flat, is that normal? Is that right? I don't think it is, but fixed bed should be flat. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. This is after the delta calibration, of course. But it's something weird. It's weird to me. I don't know. Looks like one arm is longer. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's the front, like the front section of arms. Play in the effector arms. Interesting. So where would I start to troubleshoot that? K1 mesh. Yeah, right? Because I'm sure it's a hardware issue. I've never built a Delta. How do I unload filament? I guess I'm just going to cut it for now, because unloading filament is a giant pain from this right now. So I'm just going to not bother. So where would I start to begin to look? And I want to... Double T was making fun of me because I didn't finish the printer yet. And I want to make sure that this is all set, because if I take anything apart and adjust it, you know, I want to do it now. So let me home it so it's locked. And then let's just play around with the parts. So this one feels fine. That feels fine. That one feels fine. This one feels fine. Now, I'm wondering with the front ones. That one feels fine. So they feel fine. Like, the head itself has a little bit of rock to it. But that might just be the belt tension. Maybe it needs a lot more belt tension than what I'm having. I have it at almost 3 on the West 3D scale. So maybe tighter belts would help. Not sure. Yeah, 2.5 actually. So maybe more belt tension. I set it pretty low. Tesla, thank you for the 34 bits. Thank you very much. What's the radius of your bed mesh? I tried a bunch, but I think I'm at... They all look the same. They always have that that weird line going through them. Rod lengths. Interesting. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that. Also, I kind of want to remove the... I want to remove the little arm on the end stops. I feel like that's causing weird issues, but maybe that's just me. Tempted to rip them off. Radius of the bed mesh. The bed mesh is currently 75. Welcome, Philinux. What's the benefit of using this style of printer? It is fun to watch. Arms collide the tool head in the front a little bit. I did a very small mesh, and that didn't really seem to have an issue. Maybe, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Can we read this height map and see where it's an issue? So at 0Y, it's at its low point. So how do I orient this? Because when it's doing its probe on Yeah, on the Y side, it's dipping down a bit. So that would be the equivalent of... So when you're looking like this, when it's over here, it's going lower. So on this side right here. You enjoyed watching me build it? Yeah, it's fun. I'm having fun with this. I know it's not perfect. Far from it, right? But I just want to get it as good as possible. That's the goal. So yeah, where should I go from here? I'm not 100% sure. Is it still mirrored? Nope. No, I fixed that. So it's not mirrored anymore. It goes, you know, forward, back, like it follows the right coordinates. I don't think I've done like a proper test of it though. Yeah, it goes around the right way. Oh no, I'm fully aware this is a weird printer. Like, I wouldn't just build one of these. What's the problem? We are looking at a kind of an odd bed mesh. It's fun to watch. Yeah, definitely. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching it print. I've been like staring at it in wonder, like this is amazing. So this is the bed mesh, and it's low, like all around here. So there's something kind of weird with the arm, I think. If that's what I'm getting at. And I've already kind of checked screw tightnesses and stuff, trying to piece together what the issue could possibly be. Have I done a print? Yeah, the print came out pretty good, all things considered. I did this, so the wall quality is perfect. It's pretty much well, I wouldn't say perfect, but it's quite good right now. The main issue I'm having is pressure advance issues, where it's kind of had some issues on the trailing edge, like ghosting. Do what you thought with the end stops. I gotta make sure it'll actually trigger. I think it will. I think it will trigger if I take them off. I just don't like the arms. I've never liked them. If I do that, I'll have to redo the delta calibration. Should trigger. Well, they're kind of recessed. That's why I'm just want to double, triple check. It's not even on straight. Yeah, it looks like they're all lower. I'm just gonna rip them off, honestly. Let's do it. Alright. So I'm ripping off. Thank you, Kevin, for the 34 bits. Odd number. Weird. Yeah, we'll do that. This shouldn't be a reason for it not to. If I just ruined it, well... yeah. You can put them back on. They snap off. They snap off. Oh, this one doesn't, apparently. Everyone but this one. I've done the delta calibration a bunch of times, yes. I don't know, actually, I'll let you look at it. I'll do the delta calibration. I'm fully, I can start over with all this. I am very much a noob when it comes to this printer. Is this triggering? Oh, shoot. Is it not triggering? does. It takes a little bit of force. Is this one triggering? Oof. It is like not triggering. Probably should have left those on there. All right, let me just flip this on its side and just, I'll mess with I'll mess with the location of it. Gotta remember the bed falls off. A lot of weirdness with this printer. Like the fact the bed can just come off. It's quite strange. I never had a kinematic bed. Everlasting Media. Thank you for the 10 months. Let's kind of move this down if I can. Fixed bed is better. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea why this is on a kinematic bed, and I would much prefer if it was on, like, if it was screwed down. So if that's ever an update, I'm just gonna, I'd love to do that, because this is a huge pain. Removing, every time you pull up the PEI, the whole bed just, like, lifts up. It's not a good design. Like, unless the balls were maybe magnetic down. I don't know what a standard kinematic bed looks like, but if it's like this, I do not want one. So right now I'm just messing with the end stops, trying to move them down a bit so it actually triggers. But it was kind of fun to play around with. And the whole point of this printer was to experiment. It's just an experimental printer. This is not going to be my daily driver. I do not recommend this as a daily driver to anyone, but for anyone who's wanting to build a Delta, yeah, go for it. It's interesting. Oops. Why is this so much lower? What happened? Oh no. What happened? Oh. Did the whole thing break? Oh, yeah. The front fell off. Well, that's not ideal. The front of the switch came off. Did it break or did it slip off? Let's see. Welcome in 3D Your Life. Did it break? What's going on here? I don't understand. I don't understand you, little end stop. What am I looking at? I think I might have broken it. Let me unplug the printer. Hey CV, thank you for the 34 bits. Yeah, assuming it's to keep the bed from heat creeping on printed mounts. Yeah, I guess. Delta printers can do very decent prints. Yeah. I don't doubt that. After this printer is barely working, well, it's not barely working. It's not even working optimally. And it's already printing decent. I have high hope. How is the end stop supposed to work? I don't even know. I might have to just desolder one and put one together. Oh, it's like a little like plastic nub that must be gone. Let's see, plastic nub. Is that like around here? Oh yeah, here it is. Plastic nub that goes through. I can't tell if I broke this or if it's just come apart. Because it looks like there's little tabs that just kind of come off. And And looks like we can open up our Polymaker giveaway. So give me a moment here while I try to correct this issue. That's how it goes. Let's see. Guessing yes. Mad Cat, thank you for the 300 bits. Thank you so much. What did I do here? At this point, I'm just gonna resolder a new switch on because I don't think it would be like it might not work well. One Piece giveaway. I still have fun with end stops. Well, the end stops worked fine. They seem to. Thank you for the 34 salt bits. Okay, yeah, we're not messing around here. I'm gonna bust out the soldering iron. Before I do that, let's start the giveaway. Thank you, K2 Kevin, with the 34 salt bits, 34 salt bits, 34 salt bits. Thank you so much. I had 34 entrants, so last giveaway too. Oh, is that what that's from? Interesting. All right, we are opening up a giveaway for some Polymaker filament. This is anywhere in the world where Polymaker ships to. I'll be drawing this in about 10 minutes, so stay tuned. Let me find my soldering iron. Right now I'm just using a little pencil, I think. I don't even know what this thing is. I got it. I'm like, yeah, I should probably get a second soldering iron. Ooh. And speaking of, we'll showcase a couple things before I get too sidetracked, because I don't want to forget. Excuse me. Oh, I bent the connector. Oh dear. Oh no. My little USB-C. Oh dear. What do we got here? Oh, more 34 bits. Thank you. Black Sheep, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Let's see. Soldering. Okay, solder. Oh, yeah, I'll just solder a new connector. I have 6. I bought 6 of these end stops, so I can mess this up a few times. But let me make sure that the rest of them still work without the little lever. All right. Thank you, Pezlas, for the 34 bits. All right, cool. So, I got, let me grab the link. Bang KB3D in chat because there is now the Stealth Press Zero kit.